My Friend is Different, Part 2, by Pigsmasher1981. Time. How long had I been locked away in this steel cage? Time. Time became an abstract prison in my mind as I crouched, hunched over in my own shit and vomit. Time. How long had it been since I could smell the crisp air of a morning? There was no time here in this box. Even outside of the box, time stood still. I heard nothing, saw nothing. For how long? Days? Weeks? In the beginning, I tried screaming for help, but after a few days without water, even so little as breathing felt like shoving sandpaper down my throat. I vomited on myself the little food I had eaten so long ago. My legs ached with soreness, begging to lay down. The cage was too small to move, but still I shook. It was freezing, like a meat freezer. Meat. I would kill for just a crumb of food. Kill. My God, is he going to kill me next? I bit my nails in anticipation of what would happen to me, and to try to kill my hunger. Dahmer unlocked the door and stepped inside. He silently switched on the light, his glasses and clothes dirtied with blood. Dahmer placed a clean blanket on top of the table in the middle of the room, still shifted a little to the right from me, running into it. I coughed up mucus and blood and spat at him. He didn't so much as breathe my way. Look at me! The hoarseness of my voice surprised me. I sounded like a completely different person. Was I still the man I was before the cage? I felt different, like a wild animal. Dahmer, look at me, damn it! He kept preparing the table for something. Dahmer, look at me right now. I want out. No luck. He switched the light off and left the room. Dahmer, get back here and let me out. I tried crying out, but it was distorted from the blood and vomit on the way out of my throat. I felt nauseous. I couldn't keep squatting. I tried closing my eyes for a small while, but fell face first into the pool of bloody vomit. I wiped my face and tried again. I was able to lean back and stay upright for the most part. I hadn't been sleeping long when the light came back on. My friend placed a box onto the table and opened it. From my position, I could only see Dahmer's face. What was enclosed in the box was a mystery. Dahmer, please, please let me out. I won't tell anyone. I swear to God, I'll leave town. I'll do anything. Just please let me go. Still nothing from him. He had tidied himself up, now wearing a black suit instead of the morgue garments he had on previously. He smiled as he scanned the cages covered with blankets. His eyes seemed to light up, and Dahmer walked towards the box right next to mine, tearing the blanket off. A man in worn clothing. He had bruises and cuts all over him, but wasn't moving. How many people do you got in here, man? How long you been doing this? No response. My friend opened the cage and carried the body to the table. He picked up a knife from the box and began tearing away flesh from the man, like a butcher to a pig. Blood poured from the table into a pool that reached my cage. I stared into the pool and saw something I didn't recognize looking back. My mouth began to salivate. No, 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 I can't. But when's the next time I'm ever going to have water? I don't want to die of dehydration. I need something to drink. Like a dog, I put my face to the blood and lapped it up. More vomit shot out of my mouth, corrupting the blood. I can't do this. I need to drink. I began to lap up the drink once again, stomaching the metallic flavor. God damn it, what am I doing? I've become a monster. I had to do it, though. I had no choice. I pulled my head back and began to watch Dahmer once again. Chunk after chunk, piece after piece, he tore off flesh from the man. There was no expression in Dahmer's face. It was like he didn't know he was slicing flesh off of him. He plopped the pieces onto a plate and carried it out of the room. The man began to move, shaking. He dropped off the table and onto the floor, cracking a rather large cut into his head when he landed. More and more blood poured until the floor looked to be filled with red carpet. Dahmer must have heard the commotion because he came running back into the room, stopping at the door. He didn't move for a second, then grabbed the man and placed him onto the table once more. He opened up the case and brought out 4 handcuffs, 2 on the arms and 2 on the feet. The man convulsed and screamed. I thought for a moment he might break out of the handcuffs. Dahmer stepped out and came back quickly with something in his hands. He walked up to the table and raised the object, a sledgehammer. Dahmer slammed the sledgehammer down on the man's shin. Crack! The shin split, and I could see one bone split into 2. Red poured out of his wound as Dahmer raised it and slammed it into his other leg. Thud! The bone didn't break. He slammed it again. I could see it bend the opposite way and stay like that. I couldn't watch any more. I closed my eyes and covered my ears as Dahmer kept at him. Dahmer finished breaking up the man and brought out a bigger knife and began sawing it where the bones had broken. By the end, the man was nothing but a toy missing some parts. He packed up the parts in a black trash bag and began to clean the floor. Please, buddy, I can't be here. My mom and dad are probably worried sick about me. They could have called the cops already. If they're looking for me, they'll look here first. What are you going to do then? If you let me out, I'll tell them I'm fine, and I won't ever have to talk about what happened here. Please, please just let me see my family. I'm not sure if it was the mention of my family or the cops that seemed to have perked his interest, but he looked at me. No, through me. There wasn't a man behind those eyes. My friend was no longer alive. Something had stolen his body. This isn't you. I know you. You don't have to do any of this. He stopped cleaning and walked over to my cage. Towering over me, I could hear his breath becoming heavy as he seemed to weigh his options. Sighing, he unlocked my steel prison and opened the top. I pounced on him. I tried scratching at him, but my nails did nothing. I was barely able to get him to the ground before he grabbed both of my arms. Still no expression on his face. What happened to my friend? He let go of my arms and socked me across the face. I went limp and flopped onto the floor. Dahmer got up and put me on the table. They'll get you. You're a sick son of a bitch, you know that? I spat at him again. This time a tooth came along with it. Yes, he replied as he raised the sledgehammer.